everyone, welcome back to the David and Aidan Show. My name is Aidan.
And my name is David.
And today we're diving into the Christmas spirit. We are full swing into holiday seasons here, which is awesome. And we figured we'd kind of take a break from the superheroes and the Jedis and kind of move into the world of holiday and Christmas films, because there's a lot of them, and it's going to be a lot of fun diving into these, ranking our favorites, and talking about all of that. So it's going to be quite a fun-filled episode. We do have a video component for this episode, so if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, you will for sure see that. But yeah, anything to add before we jump into the ranking, David?
Just a bit. Actually, something that I've noticed when watching Christmas movies and making this list is Christmas movies kind of suck, except for like the ones that we're going to talk about today. Most of them are just like Netflix trash. So that's really unfortunate. Like compared to horror, which was our last episode, like there's great horror movies that are like specifically for Halloween, just horror and like, you know, like Get Out, like it's like a social horror movie. And then you have like spoof horror movies like Scream. Christmas movies, either there's like the great ones like It's a Wonderful Life, Die Hard, The Santa Claus, and then it's just like, once again, Netflix trash. So that's something to keep in mind, that when we talk about these not horror movies, when we talk about these Christmas movies, we're trying our best to talk about these, because unfortunately there's not too many great ones. Yeah,
for sure. I think there's a lot. Yeah, like you said, Netflix trash for Christmas movies. It's very true. Like there's a lot of like very mediocre ones, and I think they all are kind of just like the same story, just told like slightly differently, so they don't get like a copyright infringement. So it's very interesting. But we're gonna dive into it. And another cool thing that we kind of found out when making this list and like preparing for this episode was a lot of this, movie content that we consume like during this time of year isn't necessarily always Christmas related. That's for sure. Like I think there's a lot of stuff we associate December with that's has nothing to do with Christmas. So we had a couple kind of honorable mentions, I guess. I know David does about things that aren't Christmas related, but he still wants to mention. So if you wanted to take us away with that, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so first we have all the franchises that are great to watch during the holiday season. We have Harry Potter, of course. I think FX does a marathon of them, so that's always fun. Mm-hmm. Star Wars, classic. It's just, especially the original trilogy. My personal favorite Christmas Star Wars movie is Return of the Jedi. I feel like that's just like the cheesiest and coziest, so that's my personal one. Lord of the Rings, which I just got into this year. I feel like that's, especially the first one, because that one's stupidly cheesy for like the first hour or so that one's fun. Surprisingly, we're watching A Wonderful Life for the first time. Iron Man 3 is actually very similar to Wonderful Life, just MCU edition. And then getting into not franchise related, Paddington 1 and 2, adorable movies, very cozy, very cheerful. Is there a Christmas tree in there? There has to be a Christmas tree in there somewhere, so maybe they are Christmas. Little Women, also a very cozy and just lovable movie. And finally, Mean Girls, which I watched for the first time, unironically. Great. Like, it is a solid movie, very well written, very well acted, so that's also kind of a Christmas movie and just kind of a fun, cozy movie. And there's a Christmas performance. There's an iconic Christmas performance, so that's our
for sure. Yeah, there's a lot, and I think like especially in winter months, December and stuff, it's a great time to just watch movies, especially rewatching films too. I think like by this time of year, a lot of TV shows are kind of wrapped up and stuff, and it's a great time to watch reruns of TV shows or movies. And a lot of TV channels now, instead of doing actual TV shows, they're doing marathons of various different movies and stuff. So it's pretty cool, and it's a good time. I have a couple honorable mentions of the sort, like in my actual top 10 list, so I'll get to those in a little bit, but all the ones you mentioned I definitely agree with, and most of those are on my list as well, so we'll get to those. But for now, we're gonna dive into our top 10 favorite Christmas or Christmas related holiday movies. It's gonna be a fun time. We're gonna go through this from number 10 to number 1, and yeah, it's gonna be a pretty fun episode. Anything else before we jump on into it?
Oh, just real quick, I can't fit them all into the list, but like I had this box set of animated films that include Frosty the Snowman, The Grinch Stole Christmas, and Rudolph. They're like 25 minutes long. They don't make the list, but I have to mention them.
Oh, that's 100% true. When I was making this, I focused mainly on live action. Animated Christmas films, whole nother area. Like I think you have Rudolph. I love that film. I think it's I used to watch it all the time when I was younger, and even still now, it's just a wonderful film, and I will never stop watching that film. It's great. And Peanuts Christmas, that's another amazing movie. Animated, Grinch, all of those, very, very well made. And forgot to add them to my list, but I will echo what you said. They definitely earn a spot. So there you go.
Kicking things off at number 10 for me is The Polar Express. This is a movie that I have seen like a couple times, mainly, and I think it was in grade school. They just kind of put it on. It's a very cute movie with some, I will say, very creepy animation nowadays. It has not aged very well, but regardless, it is a very cute and fun story. I wish I could say more, but overall, it's just a nostalgic movie that I enjoy.
Oh yeah, Polar Express is wonderful. It's I haven't seen it as much as I have seen some other Christmas films, but it's a really great film. I think it has an excellent message. It's the I mean, I haven't seen it in a while, but from what I remember, the visuals of it are pretty cool as well. It's a really nice looking movie. It's a nice story, and I think it's it's a pretty heartwarming story. So definitely solid 10 on your list. My number 10, again, nothing to do with Christmas, but again, it's definitely definitely deserves its spot, if not a better rank, but it would be The Office. So we're gonna change this into an Office themed podcast, but it's great, and I think the big reason why I put it on my list is just because of all the amazing Christmas episodes they did. It's spectacular. Michael Scott, his Christmas parties at the office, very, very nice. So I think it's just a fun show. Sometimes, like in the Christmas season, typically that's like when I'll start rewatching the show all the way through, or I'll at least like hop around to each of the Christmassy themed episodes. And it's a fun show. It's kind of really nice, and I think especially in this like in Christmas time and stuff, I really like watching like kind of lighthearted shows, fun stuff like that. So I think it definitely earns its spot there. It's going to be leaving Netflix at the end of the year, which is very sad, but it's going to go over to Peacock, which is like, I don't know how to feel about that streaming platform. I have too many, but yeah, we'll see. I do have some cool content regarding The Office coming up on my channel soon. Me and David were talking about it before we started the episode. Stay tuned for that. Going to be pretty cryptic, but it's going to be fun. So yeah, that's my number 10.
The Office is great. I love that you included that. I've been actually rewatching The Office as well because it's leaving, and it's just I need an enjoyable show just to watch.
Oh yeah,
The Office is that. Number 9 for me is The Christmas Story. This is one of those movies that I've just kind of seen on TV, and I actually don't think I've watched it from start to finish. I know I've finished the movie in a sense, but I haven't watched it from start to finish. With that being said, it's a very cute movie with very great gags, iconic gags, and it's overall just a very enjoyable movie. Once again, like Polar Express, I wish I could say more, but it's just a Christmas story and a movie that I really enjoy.
Christmas Story is amazing. It's I'll get to it a little bit later, but it's so good. I'm gonna save all my comments on it for a little bit, but it's really, really great. So I'm glad to have it on your list. Number 9 for me is Daddy's Home 2, which again, not really sure if it's Christmassy.
Yes. But it's so dumb. I love it.
It's great, and it's it's set during Christmas, and it's fun. It's really fun. So I love those two movies. They're they're not necessarily like the smartest of movies, but they're great nonetheless.
Yeah.
So for sure, that would definitely be a great number 9 on my list. So there you go.
Awesome. I'm continuing some dumb Christmas movies, but this one is dumb with like class and style, and it's regarded as one of the best Christmas movies, and that's Elf. This is like the good kind of like Goldilocks zone of just like childlike humor, but still actually pretty funny for all ages. It's still holding up for me. I forget his name, Will Ferrell, right? Him playing Buddy. That's an iconic role. Lots of great lines, very iconic lines, especially him when he meets the mall Santa. It's overall just a very memorable film, and like I said, with some comedy that still holds up for when you get older.
Oh, it's a great film. I think it's really awesome. I think it definitely it holds up for all ages, because I think there's like it has like childish themes and stuff, but also like more adult humor and stuff, and it kind of combines this together. It makes a really, really great film. I like what you said about Goldilocks kind of film. It's like the best of everything, and I think it's
exactly
it's an excellent Christmas film. And I was surprised just the other day. I realized that it was released in 2003, which is the year I was born. I always thought it was a lot newer than it actually is. I'm not sure why, but it's a great film nonetheless, and I think I was watching a lot of behind the scenes like of how they shot it and everything the other day, and it's really cool. It used to be our favorite Christmas movie. So it's not my favorite on this list. I'll reveal that, but I'll also get to its ranking in just a little bit. So there we go. Let's see. My number 8 is Home Alone. Again, a very, very nice movie. Not necessarily totally Christmas themed, but still Christmassy enough. And it's a fun movie. It's very, very iconic. You have, I always say that if a movie can have a lot of memorable GIFs that can be used as memes and stuff that come out of it, it's a great movie. So I think Home Alone is it's for sure. It's an awesome movie. I think it's very, very iconic, and the acting and the story is just very fun, lighthearted, and a great movie to watch at this point in the season. So, yeah.
I have not seen Home Alone. For some reason, my parents thought I wouldn't enjoy it, so they just never showed it to me. And I haven't had, the motivation or urge to check it out because I know it's iconic, but I think just because, I know the stuff that happens, I might not thoroughly enjoy it. But I will try to promise you and the viewers that I will check it out before December ends because I know it's, a quality, iconic film. But yeah, nothing against it, just haven't seen it yet because I just have a weird stash of favorite movies and I just cycle through them. Number 7 for me is one I just checked out. I was watching this just kind of as a joke, but it's actually really cute and a great interpretation of this tale, and that's The Muppets Christmas Carol. Very well made, just the production quality, having all those Muppets sing, dance, tell a story. That's cool right there. I'm forgetting his name at the moment. Let me find it. Michael Caine. Sir Michael Caine does a great job interacting with these Muppets. So overall, it's just a really cute, just the premise and just the movie existing is kind of silly and it's by itself, but it turns out to be a very heartwarming and wholesome interpretation of a Christmas Carol.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've seen it. Yeah, I don't know, but it sounds really good. So glad that it's on your list. Very cool. My number 7 is a little bit more obscure. It's the 1951 version of Christmas Carol titled Scrooge, and it's pretty old. It's a really fun film. It's definitely different compared to other Christmas films, that's for sure, because it's older, but it's a really cool telling of Christmas Carol, and I think it's pretty fun because it's we've been a pretty big fan of Christmas Carol, both the book and we you always see the play and everything, so it's kind of a cool continuation of that and stuff, and it's one of my family's favorite Christmas films, and I think it definitely deserves a spot on the list. So yeah. Very
cool. I'll have to add that to the watch list.
Yes, do it.
Number 6 for me is the most joyous Christmas movie, Die Hard. This was my first time watching it, and I have to say I was going into it fully expecting it to... I was fully expecting my Letterboxd review to be not my thing, 3.5 stars. No, I actually really enjoyed this movie. It's a very solid action movie with a character. I know this has been said to death, but the main character is the quintessential everyman character. You can put yourself in him. You can put someone you know in him. He is just the good guy you want to see succeed. Once again, the action pieces are great. I forget his name at the moment, but the guy who plays Severus Snape is in this movie. Alan Rickman, may he rest in peace, he did a fantastic job playing this villain. So likable, but, he's also a villain. Overall, an iconic action movie that's also taking place at Christmas, and yeah, I'm very happy I enjoyed this.
Nice. I unfortunately have never seen it, so... Yeah, I definitely want to see it very soon because I've heard wonderful things, and it seems like a really good film, and yeah, I'm not really sure why I haven't seen it yet. It's just, again, there's a lot of movies out there, but I'll definitely see it soon. Glad to have it on your list. Very cool. Let's see. Number 6 here for me would be It's a Wonderful Life. Wonderful film. It's really great, and I think excellent message, and I really like the story. I think it's fun. It's it definitely has some very important themes in it, and I think it's out of all the different Christmas movies, it definitely takes a little bit more serious of an approach, and I think it's pretty iconic. I think just with all the various parts to it and stuff, and it's definitely not my total favorite, but I think it's a really great film, very solid, middle part of my list here, and yeah, it's about really all I have to say about it, but I definitely enjoyed the film, so yeah.
Very cool. Coming in at number 5 for me is one of my favorite Halloween and Christmas movies, being The Nightmare Before Christmas. I talked about this in the horror episode. It is just such a nice, cozy, comforting movie with a very just fun premise whenever you can take two things that are kind of polar opposites of each other and put them together and make it a story that really works. That's why I wish I could have watched it for this ranking, but I didn't have time. That's Krampus and Black Christmas, two like horror Christmas movies. I really want to see them. I'm sure they'll probably make this list, but until then, Nightmare Before Christmas is just a great combination of the two with iconic characters, iconic song. The design of the entire movie is revolutionary. It's very iconic. Like this movie owns Hot Topic. So just the whole culture of this movie, the ride at Disneyland, my cousin's obsession with this movie. This is a very personal film, and not one that I'm like, oh my god, I love the story so much, it's so captivating. It's just kind of the ambiance and style of the entire film that I love a lot.
Definitely agree. It's so awesome, and I'm really glad that you're characterizing this one as like a Christmassy film. I always, feel like it's more Halloween themed, so that's why, unfortunately, I didn't think about putting it on my list. But it's a wonderful film nonetheless, and it's really great. I think the animation style is awesome, and it's become very iconic. Like the music is superb. I love the music from the film, and it's really awesome. I actually had the music of it playing for our Christmas light show that we have outside on our house the other day. So it's fun, and it's I don't think it's just being a horror fan myself and a huge fan of the spooky season. It's a great way to kind of carry on that kind of feeling into the December time. So there you go. Number 5 for me would be Christmas with the Cranks, and I'm not sure if that one's as well known. I think it's like a decently well known movie, but it's a fun movie, and it's really like just heartwarming, and it's fun, just kind of lighthearted, cool movie, and I think we watch it pretty much every year, and it's kind of just a fun Christmas movie. So there you go. I really like the story, and I think it's some pretty iconic moments and stuff. So yeah.
That will be high up on the list. That's all I'm going to say. I love that movie a lot. Number 4 for me is The Santa Claus. This movie is amazing. Not only is it a cute tale about Santa Claus, I will say, any question that I had about Santa Claus, boom, this movie got me covered. My parents, this was the guide about Santa Claus for my parents, so I love it for that. It's such a cute movie, and I love Santa mythology, and this is a great addition to Santa mythology.
It's so cool.
Yeah, why am I so bad with actor names today? Tim Allen did a fantastic job in this movie. The little kid is adorable. A really good kid actor. Overall, it's just like, I can't like sum it up in just like a quick little 60-second clip, but overall it's just such a great movie, and it's the Santa Claus. If you watched it when you were a kid, you love it, and it's a very quality movie. Like, this isn't a guilty pleasure. This is just a very good quality Christmas movie.
It's a wonderful film. It's really great, and that's what I like about Christmas films, because I think they can be appreciated at literally any age because they're so timeless. There's no real like there's certain films that like probably you're not gonna watch over and over throughout your entire life, but I feel like Christmas films are just so timeless. They can be watched whenever, and anyone can appreciate them. And I think that film is just it's a perfect perfect example of like the holiday spirit, holiday magic, and I think it performs it wonderfully, and I think it's a pretty great film. So
exactly, yeah. And then you carry them down for generations. Like I have kids, I will show this to my kids. It's just
definitely,
that's the beauty about Christmas movies. Like, you can show young kids them, and they get into it, and then it's just the magic of the season. So Christmas,
it's awesome. Yeah, I definitely agree.
Santa Claus.
Very cool. Number 4 for me, I just put Star Wars, like as a whole, and just because nice. I think every December since like The Force Awakens came out, it's just been like December has really been the month for Star Wars. And, with a couple exceptions, like there was no movie released this year, but you still have The Mandalorian, and I think that's like, that series has definitely consumed my December, and it's just there's so much, and every December, like last year we had the film, and then like I remember Rogue One was released in December, and Force Awakens, and I just have like a lot of good memories of like watching some of the newer Star Wars stuff in theaters on opening night and stuff. We saw Force Awakens, the very first showing that was available at our theater and stuff. And say what you want about the newer movies, I just think it's just a fun time nonetheless, and it's like a month to celebrate Star Wars, and I think it's kind of fun, it's a little bit of a break from like the, Christmassy themed movies, and then it takes you kind of into this other world, and I think it's just really become a big part of my December every month, or every year for the past couple of years now, since, a lot more Star Wars stuff has been coming out, so, yeah.
Yeah, no, say what you will about Disney Star Wars, like, whenever there is a Star Wars movie that comes out in December, like, it becomes Star Wars month. Like, that's what I'm more excited about than Christmas. Because, there will be other Christmases, but seeing this new Star Wars movie on opening night, that's a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
It's iconic, yeah.
Even if I hated or I'm in denial about it, like with Rise of Skywalker, I walked out claiming it was, like, top 5 Star Wars. But, like, the experience is so much fun. And then, us, making videos about movies, we get to, like, talk about it with our friends. And
it's so cool.
Get into it. And kicking off our top 3, number 3 for me is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yes.
Now, I really... yes, exactly. It is so good. It's just plain and simple, this movie's hilarious. Like, I wish I could go into, like, oh, it's such a nice, heartwarming, wholesome movie, which it is at some points, but at the end of the day, my Letterboxd review was LOL. Because literally...
It's amazing, yeah.
It's so good. It's just really just like a bunch of funny moments, but it comes together so well. The characters are so likable. That other family that shows up is just like, so bizarre, and it's beautiful. It's such a great, hilarious Christmas movie, and I'm so upset that it took my family so long to show it to me, because it was amazing.
It is the best. It is so it's awesome. I don't even have words for it. It is also my number 3, so I'll just kind of kick off and talk about it. But it's, oh man, bro, it's so good. There's so much to appreciate from it. Like, I think any like 5-minute clip of the movie is just very iconic. You can pick a random 5-minute time from the film, and it's just, you immediately have something, just very, very timeless, and it's just very, very fun. And I don't think like there was a whole lot to say about like the production of it, or like the cinematic qualities and the themes. I think it's just a fun Christmas movie that's packed with very iconic jokes, and the acting's awesome, and it's just so much fun. So
exactly, and that's kind of like the beauty about Christmas movies. Like, as like movie YouTubers, we're like, oh, we have to look for the theme and like the cinematography. Right. Sometimes these movies are just a blast, and that's okay.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it gives you that opportunity to step back from like, oh, I'm only going to review or watch these movies that are like this good, or that are, good from all these like kind of professional viewpoints. It's like, it gives you this now opportunity to like just have fun. And I think that's a lot of fun anytime, but also especially in this holiday season. So there you go.
Coming in number 2 for me is a movie that has so much hype surrounding it, I thought there was no way that it can actually live up to it. It's probably not like a masterpiece because I'm not that into classics. I am so happy I was completely wrong. It is A Wonderful Life. Oh my god, this movie was beautiful. The first like hour, I'm like, you know what, this is kind of what I was expecting. Just like, a classic movie with some nice acting, and it just has that like 40s charm. But then once it takes that turn in the last 70 minutes, magnificent. Like, it became one of my new favorite movies.
Nice.
It is so emotional. It is so simple. It's just like a simple tale of this guy who has big dreams, but he's down on his luck, but also he's not, because he has good stuff to fall back on. So it's like a nice kind of balance of like, the dreams, but then also kind of just like the trap of the middle class that, most people who dream kind of fall into. And then realizing, you know what, hey, this is just, it's life, and I'm living it, and I have a great family, great kids, and then the whole community shot at the end where they all give him money. It is such a sweet movie, and yeah, I'll say it, I cried at the end. It is so great. I love it. I'm so happy I watched it. Warwick, thank you for relentlessly telling me to watch it, because I enjoyed it so much.
It's a great movie. I think, yeah, it's a really, really heartwarming story, and I think it's just, it's different from a lot of other Christmas films, because it's a contrast, Christmas Vacation immensely, because it's not like just this kind of slapstick humor. It's very, it's very real, and I think it tells a story that could, potentially happen to anyone, and I think it's really great. It definitely, like, it has that older kind of charm to it, like you were saying, and I think that older movies like that definitely, like, since they, like, I feel like these days movies have to really have, like, a lot of shock value. They have to have, like, over-the-top, CGI or over-the-top humor just to grab, like, people's attention. And this film kind of stepped away from that and just made, like, a really, really well-made film. It's like out of everything on this list, it's probably the best film from, from a cinematic standpoint. So it's really great.
Yes, no, I 100% agree. Like, I know we kind of was just like, it's not, you can't always look at the cinematography and just like the filmmaking, but like this one is the perfect balance of just heartwarming fun, but in a different way, and just a truly amazing movie. And now I will, Ulrich, if you're watching this, I will now watch your classic list, because he sent me a list of like 50 classics to watch. And now I will start going through them.
Coming in at my number 2 is, going back to the very kind of fun and lighthearted movies. That would be Elf. It was much higher on David's list, but I have it closer to number 1 here, just because it's a great movie, and I think it's probably almost tied with Christmas Vacation for me, but it's a fun movie. It used to be me and my family's favorite Christmas movie, and it still is. We watch it once or twice every Christmas, and it's still a lot of fun. And I think, like we were talking about earlier, it's just there's so much to appreciate, no matter what your age is with that film. And I think there's so much to it. Like, you have like this kind of Christmassy vibe, but you also have it combined with like the urban kind of, scenery of New York City. And it's just so much fun. And I think, like some of it is like this kind of classic, like, a little bit more childish, like Christmassy kind of story. But then the other part of it is, very much like this kind of like humorous thing. And, having Will Ferrell in there is obviously going to make for a wonderful film. He's one of my favorite comedians, and it's, he's a pretty good actor. And I think it's just, it's a good time. So, that's, definitely deserves number 2 on my list. So there you go.
Nice. So I like that very positive description of it. I'll have to give it a watch, because I haven't seen it in a while. And the last time I watched it, it might have been like my second time watching it. So no, I definitely want to check it out now.
Nice.
And then number 1 for me, a complete contrast to the beautiful movie that is A Wonderful Life. We have at number 1, the cinematic masterpiece of the season, Christmas with the Cranks. I love this movie so much. I watched it at the perfect age, and let me preface this: it's not good. It is a trashy cliche movie with like actually some pretty funny jokes. Like, there's some of them are actually really good, but overall the plot is so cliche. But at the same time, it's like my dad keeps telling me that the street that they filmed it on, like they built that's impressive right there. So at the same time, it's a combination of like, wow, this movie is so dumb and cliche, but also that's actually pretty cool. That's pretty cool filmmaking.
It's it's awesome.
It's so dumb, but it's so heartwarming. It's just so formulaic. I guess that's what I find the comfort in. It's just I can turn that on. I think we watched it like twice every December. It's like we have to watch it.
Nice.
It's just so comforting. That's all I can say. It's just, this is a total subjective, no real reason for why it's number 1 other than I love it a lot. So that's why it comes in at number 1 for me. By far my favorite Christmas movie.
It's so fun, and it's it's great. I love the different scenes from there, and I think it's great. There's some great moments. The snowmen on the roof, and the getting the turkey at the store and stuff. It's great. I think it's it's wonderful.
Like really clever like what's the word I'm looking for, bits, I guess. There's some really clever stuff in the movie,
for sure,
but overall it's just kind of like dumbed down with the cliche plot. But I will say that it's not like a trash movie. There's actually some really great stuff, and I will never forgive Rotten Tomatoes for giving it like a 5%.
Yeah,
it deserves at least like a 50. Like, it's a fun film.
And that's the thing. Like,
yeah,
I think you have to kind of understand that about Christmas movies, is that just to be a Christmas movie in the first place, they're going to feel a little bit cliche. But once you kind of get past that point, you'll start to realize that these movies, while they have like a cliche plot, they're also very, very well made. And I mean, coming up with like the jokes from, Christmas Vacation, or even Christmas with the Cranks, it's like these things aren't things that you just come up with in a day. It's like, the fact that they've become so iconic, even if they are cheesy, it definitely still takes a lot of effort and stuff. And I think that's it's always really good to appreciate that from the filmmakers and stuff. So it's a wonderful movie.
It is, yeah.
My number 1, it was much higher on your list. So I gotta say, I was a little bit frustrated. But no, my number 1 is Christmas Story, and I love this film so much. It's you should definitely rewatch it. It's so much fun, and I think it's a wonderful story. It's my family introduced me to it, and they all really like it, and it's just really, really great. I think the story is fun. Feels very much like kind of like a made-for-TV movie. And it didn't actually become super popular until a while after it was released. I think because once they started getting, I think if I'm not mistaken, once one of the TV channels started getting the rights to do like a marathon for it, that's when it started getting really popular.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's one of those movies that I've just kind of seen glimpses of on TV, but like what I've seen, I've loved.
Right.
I guess I should do this crazy thing and watch the entire movie. That would be wild. But no, I'll definitely check it out now. I'll give it the viewing that it deserves.
Very cool.
Because, like I said, I don't think I've seen it in its entirety. Maybe one time, but it's just kind of like moments.
Yeah.
I think the problem is that I've always just kind of catch the same loop. It's either like at the beginning, middle, or end. So I'll just kind of watch that 30 minutes and then I'm like, okay, I've seen it. So
right.
I need to watch it. So when I do that, I will let you know what I think.
Yes. Awesome. Very cool. Well, that brought us to the end of our top 10 Christmas or holiday related films. That was a lot of fun. I think there's all kinds of movies, Christmas or otherwise, that are really, really great to watch in December. Let us know, what you're watching this December in the comments of the podcast. We'd love to hear it. And if there's a movie that stands out, we might do a complete review on it. So definitely give us some comments in the comment section. All right, guys. Well, we are approaching the end of our episode here. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can find us on YouTube at The David and Aidan Show, where we post video components to each of our episodes. So if you're tuning in on Spotify, you can definitely move on over there and get another additional component to the episodes, along with some shorter form clips and other things of the episodes as well. Definitely recommend checking it out. You can also find us on Instagram at The David and Aidan Show, where we post clips from time to time as well. So those are the two main socials for The David and Aidan Show. But you can also find me on YouTube at Aidan Films. I post videos fairly often. I'm going to start kicking up my upload schedule again, and all about filmmaking, creative process, fun stuff like that. So definitely stay tuned. Lots of fun stuff coming out over there. You can find me on Instagram _it's_Aidan, Twitter at Aidan_films, and TikTok at Aidan Films. What are your socials, David?
You can find me on YouTube at basically Star Wars. Like I mentioned last video, I put out a Last Jedi video recently, and it's doing really well, so I'm trying to get that to 1K real soon, so if you can help me, that'd be awesome. You can find me on Twitter, at DavidLawlerYT, and on Letterboxd, can't remember the spelling, link will be in my Twitter.
Definitely leave us some comments, anything you took away from the episode, any Christmas movies that weren't on the list that you think we should check out. You can also join our Discord, which will be in the show notes below. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. We have a lot of fun stuff planned, a lot of great episodes coming up. So definitely stay tuned for those. But yeah, hope your holiday season is filled with lots of awesome movies and some Star Wars, because Star Wars is always great as well. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you in the next episode.